Sometimes, a person unknowingly commits a sin so grave that they can never make amends for it, no matter how long they live. And the one who suffers from that sin is left burning with the fire of revenge. Our story today is based on this very concept, and after watching it, you'll feel chills down your spine. So, make sure to watch this video till the end. At the beginning of the film, we see a boy named Lucas, who is in the forest with his dad. He was actually stacking logs onto a sled and transporting them. When his father sees him doing this, he scolds him, saying that it's not his job and that he shouldn't be doing it. Lucas's father was an alcoholic who used to beat him brutally, making Lucas feel as if his father didn't love him at all. Next, we are introduced to Lucas's friend, Matthias, who was also his neighbor and lived a little distance away. When Matthias sees Lucas, he starts running after him. As they run, Lucas suddenly trips and falls. Matthias rushes to him and asks if he is hurt, but Lucas assures him that he is fine. Just then their eyes fall on a door. When they approach it, they realize that it is actually the entrance to a small cave. Upon further inspection, they discover that this cave was used during World War II. Excited, they start pretending to be soldiers and begin playing inside. After finishing their game, they promise to return, but this time they plan to bring new equipment so they can fight like real soldiers. The next day, while Lucas is sitting in the car with his father heading somewhere, his father asks him for a pack of cigarettes that was kept in the back. However, Lucas refuses, saying that his mother told him smoking isn't good for him. Hearing this, his father gets furious and starts yelling at him. Just then, someone suddenly appears in front of their car, leading to an accident. When his father steps out to check, he realizes that it is none other than Matthias, who was cycling and had accidentally come in front of the car. Matthias dies on the spot. Seeing this, Lucas's father panics. He quickly pulls Matthias's bicycle from under the car and throws it into a ravine. Then he does the same with Matthias's body, making it seem like he fell to his death. Meanwhile, Lucas was sitting inside the car, witnessing everything. He knew that his best friend had just been killed. But his father tells him not to tell anyone about what happened, and out of fear, Lucas obeys him. Later, as his father is passing by Matthias's house, Matthias's father, Lee, stops him on the road and asks if he has seen his son. Lucas's father lies, saying that he hasn't seen Matthias and that there's no need to worry, he's probably just out playing and will return soon. Hearing this, Matthias's father says that maybe he's right. However, as Lucas's father drives away, he glances in the rearview mirror and sees Lucas crying in the back seat. He doesn't understand why his son is so upset. The story then jumps forward several years. We see that Lucas has grown up. Due to his father's cruelty, he had run away from home and now lived with his girlfriend, Julie. One day he receives a phone call informing him that his house has caught fire, and both his parents have died. He is asked to come back and perform their last rites. Hearing this, Lucas is shocked. He immediately sets out with his girlfriend, Julie, and his friend, Arnold, to attend his parents' funeral. After the funeral, they go to his old house, which is now completely burned down. Lucas tells his friends that they should check if anything valuable is left inside. While searching, they enter the shed and find one of his father's old games. Lucas picks it up and places it in their truck. Just then, Lee arrives and Lucas is surprised to see him. Lee asks him how he's been, to which Lucas replies that he's doing fine. He then introduces Lee to his friends. Lee then asks Lucas if he ever thinks about his old friend. Lucas replies that he remembers Matthias every single day. Lucas then notices that Lee is in a wheelchair and asks what happened to his legs. Lee explains that he had an accident which left his legs paralyzed, so he now relies on a wheelchair. Lee then invites them over for coffee. Lucas initially refuses, saying they're in a hurry, but Lee insists, so they agree. He leads them to his house and to their surprise he climbs up using only his hands. They are amazed at the sheer strength he still possesses in his upper body. When they enter Lee's house, they notice several animal skins hanging inside, making it clear that he was once a skilled hunter. Lee then asks Lucas if he has stopped sledding. Lucas replies that his father never let him do it. Whenever he tried, his father would beat him badly. His friends, confused, ask what sledding is. Lucas explains that a sledger is a type of trolley used to carry 500 kilograms of wood, which requires great effort to push. Lee then tells them he wants to show them something and leads them into his shed. Inside he reveals his wood-cutting machine. When Julie approaches it, he suddenly switches it on, startling her. He reassures her that he only uses it for cutting wood. Meanwhile, Arnold notices a small trolley and jokingly asks if it's a toy. Lee explains that they often build miniature versions for demonstration purposes and that Arnold wouldn't be able to handle a real one. After this, they return to the house. Lee tells them he is stepping out to fetch something and asks them to stay inside until he returns. As they wait, Lucas and his friends find his behavior increasingly strange. They start wondering why it is taking so long just to get coffee. Lucas goes into the kitchen to grab some cups, and as he looks around he spots a familiar glass, the one his childhood friend Matthias used to drink from. Suddenly, he hallucinates Matthias's corpse lying in front of him, terrifying him. Meanwhile, Arnold and Julie talk privately. Their conversation reveals that Julie is pregnant, and she has been having an affair with Arnold. Arnold asks when she plans to tell Lucas the truth. Julie replies that she will do so when the time is right and then break up with Lucas so she and Arnold can be together, as the baby is Arnold's. Shortly after, Arnold accidentally breaks an old metal rod. When Lee returns, he tells them not to worry and says he will fix it. He then brings out a cardboard box filled with Matthias's belongings. Showing it to Lucas, he asks if he remembers any of the items. Lucas, looking at the box, recognizes the belongings, including a happy family photo. Lee finally serves them coffee and tells them they are free to leave. However, when they get into their car, it won't start. Lucas checks under the hood but can't figure out what's wrong. As they struggle, Lee goes inside to call a mechanic. When Lee returns, he tells them the mechanic will only be available tomorrow. This shocks the group. Julie, feeling cold, decides to go back inside, and Lucas and Arnold eventually follow since they can't fix the car. Inside, Arnold asks Lee if he has a hose pipe since their car's pipe is broken. Lee says he has one stored downstairs and offers to take Arnold to get it. Arnold follows him, but when he bends down to pick up the pipe, Lee suddenly grabs a metal rod and strikes Arnold on the head, knocking him unconscious. After 10 minutes, Arnold still hasn't returned, making Lucas and Julie suspicious. They look out the window and see a car driving away. Initially, they assume Arnold is driving, but then they realize it is actually Lee behind the wheel. Lucas quickly tries calling Arnold, but he doesn't answer. Worried, Lucas and Julie go downstairs to search for him but find no trace of him. Lee appears and explains that Arnold has gone to find a garage to fix the pipe. However, Lucas spots the hose pipe lying nearby and questions why Arnold would need to leave if the pipe was right there. Lee insists that Arnold is just trying to find help and will return soon. Lee then invites them back inside. Secretly, he takes Arnold's phone and sends a text to Lucas, claiming that he will be back late as he hasn't found help yet. When Lucas reads the message, he is puzzled as to why Arnold would do that. But with no other choice, he and Julie decide to stay the night. Later, during dinner, Lee asks Lucas if his father used to beat him often. Lucas confirms that he ran away from home as a child because of his father's abuse. Suddenly, they see a rat about to get caught in a trap. Lee explains that he deliberately places bait there so that when the rat eats it, the trap will snap and cut its neck. Julie, disturbed, tells him he shouldn't do that. Lee coldly responds that rats are a nuisance, and their only punishment is death. The rat, however, doesn't fall for the trap and scurries away. Lee smirks and says, "He'll be back. And when he does, he'll die." Then he takes out a bottle of champagne and starts drinking with Lucas. He asks Lucas if he doesn't miss his son, to which Lucas replies that he misses his childhood friend a lot because he had no other friend besides him. After that, he goes to his friend's room, where everything is kept exactly as it was before. There, he even imagines his friend staring at him. At night, when everyone is asleep, a rat comes and gets trapped in the trap, dying instantly. This rat represents Lucas, who has now arrived there and fallen into a trap. Later, when Lucas wakes up, he checks his girlfriend's phone and finds that she has messaged Arno and told him about her pregnancy. Seeing this, he is shocked and starts scolding her. His girlfriend tries to explain that nothing is going on, but he tells her that he is not a child and can clearly see that she and Arno have something between them. Furious, he goes outside to smoke. When he returns inside, he finds his friend's phone hidden behind a book, which surprises him. He wonders how it got there. He then goes to the basement, where he doesn't see anything at first, but soon notices a gate on the ground. As he tries to open it, he hears Lee's voice coming from inside, so he hides and sees Lee emerging from the gate. Witnessing this, he realizes that Lee is completely fine and must be planning something. Once Lee leaves, Lucas enters the basement and starts investigating. What he discovers leaves him shocked. His parents are there, held captive by Lee. Just then, Lee returns and attacks him, knocking him unconscious. Meanwhile, Julie, worried about Lucas, goes outside to look for him but doesn't find him anywhere. She then searches for the old man, but he is nowhere to be found either. When she enters his room, she sees a family photo of Lucas and some drawings that look like a trap plan. Realizing that Lee is up to something, she becomes alarmed. Down in the basement, Lee has tied up all 3 family members. When Lucas regains consciousness, he finds himself bound. Lee has set a trap where each of them holds a rope, and if anyone lets go, the other person will die. Lucas pleads with Lee to let his parents go, saying they are innocent. But Lee insists that no one is innocent, they are all sinners who killed his son. He explains that on the day he saw his son crying behind their car, he knew they were hiding something. Later, when he was cutting wood and returning home, he found a ribbon from his son's bicycle under their car, confirming that his son had been run over. When he went to confront them, they had already fled. After years of planning, he finally burned down their house and kidnapped his parents to lure Lucas into his trap. Lucas is shocked upon hearing this. Meanwhile, Julie arrives and starts calling out to Lucas. He warns her to run away because the old man is insane. Julie quickly hides inside the house. Lee begins searching for her and eventually finds her. He attacks her with an axe, but she locks herself in a room and blocks the door with a table. She tries to call the police, but there is no signal. Just then, Lee breaks down the door, forcing her to jump out of the window. She gets injured, and as she regains consciousness, she finds Lee standing over her, who then takes her away. Back in the basement, Lucas' father blames himself for everything. He decides to sacrifice himself and tells his wife to let go of the rope. As soon as she does, a blade slices through his body, killing him instantly. Lucas somehow manages to free himself and his mother and then rushes upstairs to save his girlfriend. Lee has tied Julie under a woodcutter machine and turns it on, planning to slice her in half. Just then Lucas arrives and attacks him, shutting down the machine. A fierce fight breaks out between Lucas and Lee. Julie also frees herself and hits Lee on the head with a hammer, injuring him. Lucas then helps his mother escape from the basement. However, as they try to get away, Lee gets up, cuts his ropes and stabs Lucas' mother in the leg. Lucas still manages to save her and pull her up. He locks the basement door behind him, but Lee is too strong and starts breaking it down. Lucas, Julie and his mother quickly flee. As Lee comes outside, a noise is heard from a box, revealing that he had locked Arno inside. He grabs his weapons and starts chasing them. While escaping, Lucas finds a cave and takes his mother and girlfriend inside, locking the door. Lee, however, locks them inside from the outside. Inside the cave, Lucas discovers his friend's preserved corpse, which his father had kept all these years. He is horrified and realizes just how deranged his father was. Lucas tells his mother to keep breathing and assures her that he will get her out by morning. When the next morning arrives, they find that the cave door has been opened. As Lucas steps outside, he sees his friend tied to a trolley with his mouth gagged. He rushes to save him, but Lee appears and starts beating Julie, tying her below the trolley in such a way that if the trolley moves, she will die. Lucas fights Lee and lands a fatal blow on his head, killing him. However, the trolley begins rolling toward Julie. Thinking quickly, Lucas kicks the trolley aside, saving Julie, but in the process he gets stabbed and dies on the spot. Later, the police arrive and take Lucas' body away. His mother holds Julie's hand, comforting her. And with that, the movie ends. So, friends, this was the story of the film. As you can see, only those who deserved punishment met their fate. Lucas' mother, his girlfriend, and his friends survived, while two people died, one who committed the crime and the other who covered it up. That's why only they had to face the consequences.